different, a little off the charts. Breaking the fourth wall. No knives needed. It's pretty amazing. Went down to Whalen's farm, got me some beautifully fresh string beans. Now I'm going to teach you the art of pickling. Fast pace. When we're done with that, it ain't going to be dinner time. It's going to be snack time. So, this episode, like I said, we're going to do pickled string beans. A lot of people get wicked picky, but I only get a little picky. So when you see a fresh bean, I mean, you guys are probably going to go down to Walmart. You guys are going to go down to the old, what is it, the market basket, the old fucking grocery store, and you're not going to get this problem because there are people in places that do this. So when you pick one and it doesn't have the string imaging on both sides of it, such as this one does, you're gonna want to look for the brownness. And break it off. You can do it without putting your hand. You guys want to use knives? You can use knives. I don't like knives doing this. Nice and clean, by the way. Very clean green beans. They're still wet from the wash. That is one thing Whalen will do. He'll clean his bean for me. Let me get this going. I'm gonna look here and check things out. So this episode, my wife was like, why don't you talk about things that you've done, places you've been? And I'm like, not a big guy about talking about myself, but alright. Careful with batches like this. You will get these guys. These are rotten beans in the middle of a bushel. So I'm like, alright, dude, I'll tell a story or two. And I automatically go to the same story every time. Being super careful, sorry. And that story, well, that story's gonna take a little bit of time. So there's this guy I was working with. We're gonna change names and places of things for security reasons and to protect the innocent. This dude, we're gonna call him John today. We're gonna call him John. That wasn't his real name, Kevin. But we're gonna call him John. And John was a legend at this restaurant I worked at. John would literally come pick up his paycheck, leave, and call in sick from the parking lot. That's legendary status amongst us. I mean, my grandmother's only died like 5 times, so this is legend status. Oh, I want my paycheck, and I'm going to go in the parking lot and call him sick. And one day, he calls. I answer the question. I answer the phone. I don't know, swine flu restaurant, you know, because I didn't work at Husson at this point. And we had a board where everybody called in sick. We just wrote them down. And John calls in that day, and he's like, hey, man, I ain't going to make it in. I ain't feeling the game. And I'm like, all right. Write him down on the board. So about 45 minutes later, the phone rings again. My good friend, we'll call him Steve Lou. And Steve Lou answers the phone, and it's John again. So, yeah. I look over at Steve Lou, and I'm like, who was that? He goes, oh, it was John Kevin again. No way. The best part of the story is the next day. John Kevin walks into work, and he's like pacing around all nervous. And I'm like, John Kevin, what's wrong, brother? He's like, you. He's like, they're gonna fire me. I'm like, why would they fire you? Because I no call, no showed yesterday. Now, mind you, we have a sous chef an arm's length away from us hearing this conversation. And no, you didn't. No call, no show, bro. You called in sick twice yesterday. Oh, thank God, he says. Thank God. And the sous chef's like, good day off, huh? Back to the pickled green beans. Yeah. So what I like to do with my pickled green beans, I'm going to turn a little light on here so you guys can see it. Get a little closer. Come on over. Come on over, dude. So you want to cover it, but not cover it, because it's not like anything else. It's not like boiling off string beans. Like, it's vinegar, man. So I use white vinegar. You can use whatever vinegar you would like. And I like to go with 3s. So, 3 different types of vinegar. Don't have a lot of red wine vinegar left. Looks like a pirate rum ball. I'm going to use the last of that. Red wine vinegar, white vinegar, and I'm going to use a metric shit ton of apple cider. And you can do whatever you need to do, man. Like, that seemed like a lot of apple cider. So I'm going to use a little more white. Right there. So you can see that, like, the beans are still kind of hanging out. But they're emerged. You know what I mean? And once that gets to boiling, which is all you want to bring it to, is boil. That's that. I use peppercorns. I go 1 tablespoon of whole peppercorns. And then I use 3. Again, 3 is the magic number. I'm sure there was 33 peppercorns in there. Or maybe there was 23 peppercorns in there. But I like to use, like, I mean, if you have a bay leaf that size, you're only going to need 2. This is actually a really good batch. And then, like, probably 3 to 6, because it's it's 3! So just enough sugar to cover the top. Go from there. Get my wooden spoon out. Give it a good little stir. Get that sugar to melt down in there a little bit. Hit the heat. Do not recommend getting your oven going, getting your stove going before. I've never seen it turn out well with somebody boiling vinegar and then adding their shit to it. It ain't gonna work. You'll soften your veggie. It'll destroy it. So. Then you're wondering why I like pickled stuff so much, huh? All right. So what you want to do is you want to get your vinegars. Oh, it smells so good. Clears your sinuses out. Hey boy. And I like to pull my beans. I love to pull my bean. Anyway, I put in an ice bath. I learned the hard way the last time. Don't even waste your time with ice. If you have an ice pack, it's so much easier. You don't have to worry about it. Because my whole thing, my purpose is behind this, is that I want a nice crisp. I want a nice bite to my bean. I don't want to bite into it and be all soggy. So, this is what I do. I cool these. Remember not to eat your bay leaf. You will choke on it and die. So let's make sure that either the bay leaf ends up in the ice bath so you can do, one of these. Throw it away. Now, from what I've been told, I'm not an expert in this, man. I just do what I do. But what I've been told is the reason you get to a boil is to get all that beautiful flavor. So I don't know, man. I love pickled things, and that brings me to another question and answer. So a big question that has always been asked to me is, why do you like pickled stuff so much? Well, the common answer is, I'm Irish. Other part of it is, I like it. And it's easy, it's quick, it's cheap, and it lasts forever. So now, at this point, you ice bath these. You're gonna you want to bottle these up as quick as you can. You don't want that water to let it soak. Again, you want a nice crisp bite. You want to that's what you want to hear when you bite into your pickled shit. So you want, I just did that, it's disgusting, but I don't really care because you're not coming over dinner. You're gonna eat my pickled beans. These are for me. Me alone. Me only. So you want to bottle these up. Find the biggest bottle. I save everything, so I like you've seen earlier episodes. Like I have sour cream buckets for days, dude. Cottage cheese buckets for days. I should buy stock and hood because I recycle a lot of hood shit. So I have these bottles, and that's what we do here at the old homestead. So you want to get these out of the cold as soon as they get down to town. Okay, that's a huge thing because you still want that beautiful crisp, and that's how that works. And I mean, it's okay if they don't all fit in the jar, because then that just means you have more to eat. And if you do it, shut it off. Like if you shut it off properly, where like, oh, it got to a boil. Okay, I'm gonna let this go like 2 minutes. If it goes longer than 5, you're not gonna have that. Not gonna have that. Not gonna happen. So, what are you gonna do at this point? Excuse me, cameraman. At this point, you got this on your counter. You take a strainer out. I don't know what you guys are using. You know what I mean? I don't cook with you. You don't cook with me, so I don't know what you have. And if you get there, take this, okay? Now, you're gonna want to use bottles, and when you use bottles, the can or whatever, you want to check the what's the word I'm looking for? The level of glass, I guess, because you don't want to do this to some random glass bottle because they will shatter. But these are jars that they used for pickling before, so I'm hoping they're that standard of glass. And basically what you're going to do is you're marinating your beans. Oh, it smells so good, man. And the only reason I know it smells so good is because that vinegar, hot, is just clearing out my sinuses. You're going to want that juice. Spilling it all over the place. It's all good. Let that get down to a room temp. Same as this. Get this down to room temp before you cover it. And yeah, when we come back, hopefully it's good to go. And then I can show you how to do the finished pickling process, as I like to say it. Alright, so now we have our pickled beans down to room temp. You know, earlier in the video I said that I like pickled stuff because I'm Irish, but I actually learned how to pickle things from the Chinese. It's kind of one of those things, you know? Kimchi. I don't even know who kimchi is. But anyway, So when you get it down to room temp, you can tell by the warmth of the bottle. It's on, and it's like, oh, that's so cold. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a cover on these bitches, nice and tight, nice and tight. Turn them upside down. Don't ask me why. I was never told why. There was no science to it. It was literally just a bunch of Chinese chefs that were like, turn it upside down now. Oh, okay. Why? You not need to know. Anyway, so what I did was with the extra pickle juice, this is a huge thing right here. I'm bottling that, I'm letting that cool. Because guess what, guys? You can heat that up and pickle other things later. Or like I like to do, drink it by the shot full. So one last thing that I just wanted to bring up while that's cooling. A lot of people have been asking me questions. I have a lot of friends. And that's why I've been kind of doing the question answer thing this entire video. So I got asked a very important question. And that question, well, that question is, why do you do this? If you've ever worked with me, seen my pretty face standing next to you on the line, you know that I don't like cameras. You can look at all the film from back in the day when I was a rock star. I usually turn my head. I do not like cameras. The reason I do this, man, I want to give back in some way, shape, or form. And like, I hate people like I go out to eat because it's so expensive to cook at home. And they're like, no, it's only expensive because you don't know how to cook. Go out to eat, support your local restaurant, obviously, you know, but make it an occasion. And I think that's what changed in this industry, where now it's a special occasion to cook at home, and it's nothing to just go out and eat. Don't do that, man. Take your family out to eat when it's somebody's birthday or there's a family gathering of some sort, good or bad. Cook at home, dude. It's not that expensive. Make some friends, dude. Those friends will hook you up. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. It's dinner time. But more importantly, comment, man. My son's commented. My good friend Jason has commented. Ask me questions, man. I will answer it. In fact, give me ideas. So, hey, Tim, why don't you cook this? I will, one, answer why I will or will not, or I'll just make an episode of it and I'll credit you in it. So, alright guys, we're off to Pickling land. Woo!